You're too good to feel this bad. An orthodox approach to living an unorthodox life. Welcome to Bookshare Audio, where every insight becomes a mirror and every reflection turns into an awakening of purpose. There are moments in life when a quiet exhaustion seeps into the edges of our days. We smile, we work, we strive, and yet something deep within us knows we are too good to feel this bad. This feeling isn't weakness, it is awareness. It's the body's whisper that our fast pace, constant striving, and self-imposed demands are taking a toll. Life for many of us becomes a careful performance of strength. We call it ambition, but often it's imbalance dressed as productivity. The real problem isn't that we fail to achieve, it's that in the process, we forget how to live well. The human body and mind were never designed to live in a constant state of tension. Our nervous system, when stretched too long, forgets how to return to stillness. The first great truth to rediscover is that health is not earned through suffering. It is nurtured through balance. True wellness doesn't arise from external fixes, not from pills, diets, or the next self-improvement trend, but from reclaiming the harmony between what we think, feel, and do. When life becomes misaligned, the body carries the burden. Fatigue, anxiety, and emotional dullness are not random. They are signals of mismanaged inputs. Poor sleep, shallow breathing, artificial stimulation, and relentless pressure. The modern person confuses movement with progress. The world applauds busyness, mistaking exhaustion for achievement. Yet, what many don't realize is that constant motion without restoration destroys the very energy it seeks to use. Sleep, once seen as an inconvenience, is in truth the body's most powerful form of repair. It is the workshop of restoration where every system, immune, emotional, mental, finds recalibration. When sleep is compromised, our clarity collapses, our mood fluctuates, and our creativity fades. Rest is not a luxury, it is the foundation of resilience. Every great change begins with the simplest of recalibrations. Breathe, rest, nourish, move, think, and connect with intention. Breath, though often overlooked, is the bridge between mind and body. Shallow breathing signals threat. Deep, conscious breathing signals peace. Inhaling with awareness is the oldest form of meditation. It quiets the chatter of thought, lowers stress hormones, and teaches us that calm is not found elsewhere. It is built from within. When we learn to breathe properly, we return control to the one thing we always possess, our inner rhythm. From breath comes clarity, and from clarity, discipline. But discipline in this sense is not punishment, it is devotion. It's the act of honoring ourselves enough to design a life that sustains us. We can no longer afford to live as though the body is merely a machine. Food becomes more than fuel when we understand that every choice is an act of communication. The body listens to what we feed it. It responds not only to nutrients, but to intention. Water purifies, food replenishes, and both influence not just our energy, but our emotional chemistry. A neglected body breeds a chaotic mind, while a nourished one fosters stillness. Exercise, too, should not be a chore done in guilt or vanity. It is movement with meaning, the language of vitality. When we move, we signal to the brain that we are alive, engaged, capable. The strain of effort releases the pain of stagnation. Our muscles and mind evolve together. As the body strengthens, confidence follows. Exercise is not about shaping appearance, but about aligning spirit and strength. Each drop of sweat can be a quiet declaration: I am capable of change. The deeper journey, however, is not physical, but psychological. We often chase success, believing it will heal the unease inside us, but the truth is simpler and harder. Peace requires honesty. To be well, we must first get real with ourselves. We must question the patterns that imprison us. Why do we say yes when we mean no? Why do we sacrifice rest for approval? Why do we equate being busy with being valuable? The answers are not comfortable, but they are liberating. Awareness, though painful at first, is the birthplace of transformation. Human needs, connection, growth, certainty, contribution, love, govern our choices more than reason does. When these needs go unmet or are pursued in distorted ways, we drift into confusion. The art of living well lies in recognizing what truly sustains us and releasing what only feeds our ego. Many chase wealth or recognition, yet what the soul quietly craves is peace, purpose, and belonging. Fulfillment is not accumulation, it is alignment. In this search for alignment, minimalism becomes medicine. To lighten our load is not to renounce life, but to refine it. Simplicity creates room for depth. When we declutter our environment, we declutter our minds. The endless pursuit of more things, more goals, more validation creates noise that drowns meaning. A simplified life reveals beauty in the ordinary. Every item, every commitment, every relationship can be examined by one question: does this add to my energy or drain it? The moment we start answering honestly, transformation begins. Stillness, too, is a lost art. In a culture obsessed with doing, simply being feels rebellious. Meditation, whether formal or quiet reflection, is how we return to ourselves. It is not about silencing thought, but observing it without attachment. When the mind stops fighting itself, peace emerges naturally. In silence, the truth becomes audible. The realization that our worth was never tied to output, and that happiness is not something we chase, but something we allow. Work, money, and relationships all must be re-examined through this new lens. Work should be an extension of purpose, not a prison. It must nourish, not deplete. Money, contrary to illusion, is not a measure of success, but a reflection of flow. Energy exchanged for value. When we stop worshiping money and start mastering it, it becomes a tool, not a tyrant. The same applies to relationships. Love cannot thrive where self-neglect exists. Connection begins with authenticity. To love and to be loved requires first the courage to be seen as we are. When we learn to care for ourselves holistically, sleeping deeply, breathing consciously, eating mindfully, moving intentionally, and thinking truthfully, something miraculous happens. We awaken from survival mode. The fog lifts. Life regains its color. We begin to notice the quiet joy in simple acts: sunlight through a window, laughter shared, the peace of an evening without distraction. Wellness stops being a task and becomes a way of being. The path is neither quick nor easy. Growth demands consistency, not intensity. The world may not understand your pace when you slow down, but slowness is not weakness, it's wisdom. To rebuild yourself, you must first learn patience. For real transformation is organic. It grows quietly, like roots beneath the soil. Small habits, practiced daily, compound into monumental change. The decision to rest an hour earlier, to breathe before reacting, to choose water over stimulation. These are not small acts. They are votes for the life you want to live. And yet, the journey is deeply personal. No one can walk it for you. No mentor, no partner, no system can do the inner work required to heal your body and calm your mind. You are both the sculptor and the clay. Discipline becomes devotion when we realize we're not fighting against ourselves, but returning to who we were before the noise began. Each challenge, each discomfort is a mirror showing where balance is lost. Pain is not punishment, it is guidance. Through repetition, the body relearns safety. The mind rediscovers peace. The heart, long shielded, opens again. You start to notice that joy is not an event. It's a state available in every ordinary moment once you stop rushing past it. The purpose of life is not to avoid pain, but to live so intentionally that even pain becomes meaningful. Every habit of stillness, every pause before reaction, every deep breath is a form of reclaiming sovereignty over your existence. Ultimately, the transformation described is not about fixing a broken person. It's about awakening the one who was whole all along. Beneath fatigue and distraction lies a self untouched by chaos, waiting to be recognized. When you align your actions with truth, every aspect of life, body, mind, spirit, relationships, and work begins to harmonize. You stop chasing happiness because you start embodying it. You no longer seek permission to rest, to say no, to simplify, to breathe. You realize these were your rights all along. This is not a theory, it is a lived truth. The evidence is in the calm that replaces restlessness, in the laughter that returns after silence, in the strength that emerges not from tension but from peace. Life does not need to be fought with, it needs to be lived with understanding. When we stop resisting, healing begins. When we start listening, wisdom flows. And when we finally remember that we are too good to feel this bad, we begin the sacred work of feeling good for all the right reasons. Because we are aligned, awake, and alive. Thank you for listening to Bookshare Audio. If this reflection helped you see yourself more clearly or reminded you of the importance of balance, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and request the next book you'd love to hear in the comments below. Thank you.